All right, so welcome to the Ultimate Universe Q&A. I want to thank everyone who sent in questions for this Q&A, and as always, if you'd like to be part of the next one, just hit the link in my description box below. Head on over to my Patreon, hit the first tier that'll allow you access to do so, as well as check out like movie reviews, Patreon polls, episode reviews of some shows. That's where I'll be doing my episode reviews of Alien Earth, so stay tuned for that. But anyway, let's get started with the Q&A. Starting off, first set of questions come from Gordon Rajani, who asks, what was the worst comic run of the original Marvel Universe, original Ultimate Universe? Just to be fun, you can't pick Ultimatum. I would say, if I can't pick that, it's Ultimate X-Men. Like, Mark Millar's Ultimate X-Men was so fucking mean-spirited and so overtly cruel and unnecessarily just mean. Like, and also just shit on characters left and right. It's really hard. It was really hard to like that because one of the reasons why I read the original, how I managed to read the original Ultimate Universe, was because at my school they had high school library. They had like the Ultimate Universe comic collections, so I would read those because that's really all they had at the moment. So unfortunately, there was that's all I had. And reading through it, I was like, God, these comics just suck. Just straight up suck. And yeah, it's just me. It's what? Anyway, second question: did you watch the animated Ultimate Marvel movie, Ultimate Avengers movie from Lionsgate, released back in the early 2000s? I did. Yeah, I remember watching it, and I remember not liking it. I never watched the sequel either because I had no interest in it. It was basically like my first foray into seeing like the Avengers in animated form and things like that. And yeah, looking back on it, the story's just kind of awful, and it just ends with a Hulk fight, which is cool, but like I never really liked Ultimate Hulk. Gotta be honest. So it was pretty bad, and I have no intention of ever watching the sequel. Third question: what's your favorite twist in the new Ultimate Universe? That's an interesting one. I would probably say my pick for a new twist in the Ultimate Universe is probably, I would dare say, my pick for the new Ultimate Universe, a new twist in the Ultimate Universe, is that this Ultimate Universe is trying to find hope in a hopeless world, whereas the original Ultimate Universe, my biggest problem was, in the original Ultimate Universe, it was more about trying to be like the Wildstorm comics. Like, that was really what it was that DC had come out with Wildstorm and making a new 90s, early 2000s edgier universe with like, the Authority and Stormwatch and, excuse me, and like Wildcats, and basically have like real world effects of superheroes. And Marvel looked at that and went, oh, we can do that. But the problem was, unlike with Authority and like those comics, it was like, yeah, there's some really deep storytelling there, and also talking about the effects of like superheroes and their connection to to the other universes. I mean, to the real world effect of superheroes, and also not be so fucking mean spirited. Whereas the Ultimate Universe, outside of Bendis' Ultimate Spider-Man, everything there was just meant to be, isn't it depressing? Aren't superheroes making things worse? Isn't it stupid? And then there's Bendis' Ultimate Spider-Man, like, look at me go! I'm Ultimate Spider-Man! Look at me swing! Anyway. There you go. So that's what I like, is that it's, in this continuity, we have, like, a universe where basically we have, like, some fucking hope. And I do like that. Anyway. Thank you for those questions, Gordon. Moving on now to Tom Hibbert, who asks, who would you say was a better writer in a twisted version of... who was better written for a twisted version of a better hero? Oh, Jesus, who would you say was the better written twisted version of a hero, the Maker or the Batman Who Laughs, and why? Okay, almost had a stroke reading that. I would probably say, without a doubt, my pick would go to the Maker. Reason being... the Batman Who Laughs is just a cool action figure. Like, no, really, he is just 100% just a cool action figure, and that's really what he is. He's just like this, it's just Joker and Batman, and he's just a cool cosplay. And they really overused him a lot. Like, they really overused the Batman Who Laughs a lot, all the way up to death metal, and who knows, maybe he'll come back and no one's gonna care. The Batman Who Laughs is just a cool image. He's not interesting, he's not scary, he's just kind of there. Now, as for the Maker is a more logical villain, because he's basically Reed Unbound. He is a Reed Richards who is unbound by, things like family or morals or things like that, and is just more of a scientist than anything else. Imagine Reed Richards being that kind of scary, and also, doing all this because he's like, I'm kind of like, you're all just an experiment to me. That's really what it is that you're all just one big experiment to me, and that's how I all see you. So yeah, I would say the Maker, 100%. Anyway. Sorry, I had to get some water. Second question. While Bendis' Ultimate Spider-Man is good, but considering Bendis didn't even want to do Venom, do you think he kind of fumbled with the symbiotes, with not only making Eddie Brock into a massive creep, but also making Ultimate Carnage into a clone of Peter Parker? See, yeah, Bendis never really cares much for symbiotes, and for a guy who keeps saying, I don't want to do anything with symbiotes, he does a lot with symbiotes. So, you could just not do them, Bendis. I don't think Marvel was going to stop you. Also, you use that a lot in your Guardians comic, and then you did that, and you're like, oh, I don't like symbiotes, but I keep putting symbiotes in my stuff. Whatever. I will say, though, that Ultimate Venom, the idea of making it like a alien cancer suit, like a cancer-proof suit, is kind of cool. And that original story, while Eddie Brock is a massive, creep in his own right, it was more of a horror story than anything else, and I like the idea of it. Same with Carnage being a clone. I thought that was pretty cool. It was a different universe, so I thought it was kind of a unique take on the symbiotes. At least that's how I felt on it. Third question. While we can agree the Ultimates by Mark Millar isn't good, do you think the only good thing to come out of it was the fact it was the inspiration for the Avengers movie? Yeah, that's really what it boils down to, is that that's all it boils down to, is that I'm so glad they didn't they just took ideas from the Ultimate Universe, especially like Nick Fury, because that was the whole point of getting Samuel L. Jackson drawing Samuel L. Jackson and making him black in the Nick Fury, making him look like Samuel L. Jackson in the Ultimate Universe, just so they could get Samuel L. Jackson to play Nick Fury in the MCU movies. They said that right from the get-go, is just to get Sam Jackson's attention, so when they get the ball rolling on new Marvel movies, that was kind of the idea. Anyway, so yeah. And thank God they just took more from 616, but with dressings of the Ultimate Universe. Because if they made it more like the Ultimates, holy shit. I'm pretty sure if they took more from the Ultimate Universe, like personality-wise, oh my God, I don't think we would have an MCU if they followed Mark Millar's comics to the point. Anyway. So, thank you for those questions, Gordon. Moving on now to Hunter Johnson, who asks, what's the difference between Absolute DC and Ultimate Marvel? One is Marvel, one's DC. There you go. Anyway, for real, Absolute DC is a universe that was created by Darkseid to basically create a world without heroes or without hope, and these characters are without the important tenets of what made them. So, Batman is, what if he wasn't rich? And he actually has one of his parents and things like that. Does Batman still exist without the money? Does Wonder Woman exist without the island because she's raised in the underworld? Does Superman still exist? Does Superman still give hope when he doesn't have a planet or family or anything like that, and he's on his own? That's what the Absolute Universe is built on. Is that it's all about trying to find hope in a hopeless universe. Same to an extent with the Ultimate Universe. The Ultimate Universe was created by the maker, the original Ultimate Universe, Reed Richards, who went to a universe and altered things just a bit so he could rule over it, and now the superheroes are trying to fight back against that and recover the lives that were stolen. Yeah, so there are similarities there, but yeah, there's a difference in, well, the similarity is that it's both groups trying to find hope in hopeless universes, but at the same time there's different reasons why they were created. The Ultimate maker made his universe because it's like one big experiment that he wanted to rule over, whereas with Darkseid, he's just like, yeah, I'm God in this universe, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Anyway, it looks like you had two more. It looks like you said question one, but I'm only seeing one question, Hunter, so I'm moving on. Moving on now to Alistair Bondman, who asks, I've heard great things about the new Ultimate Universe Spider-Man, and I may end up getting the trade paperback, but I have had trouble getting into other Ultimate Universe lines. I like the Ultimate X-Men, which seems to be split between a Wolverine-focused title, where Logan's basically the Winter Soldier, and the rest of the X-Men, which are weird. If you've read them, can you explain what the hell's going on with the X-Men? Because, so I haven't read Ultimate X-Men. I have not read Ultimate X-Men, but I've heard it's very out there. It's written and drawn by Peach Momoko, who, honestly, she admitted in an interview she had never read an X-Men comic. Like, she straight up admitted, I've never read an X-Men book, but she wrote this, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, but I've heard it's very surreal. Like, it's, Momoko is basically, Peach Momoko is basically making a book that is like absolute gonzo weird to an incredible extent. I haven't read Ultimate Wolverine either, but I heard that's more closer to what people want with a X-Men book. Even though, yes, I know that the X-Men universe is being the Ultimate X-Men universe has been selling really well because it's pretty bizarre and it focuses on lesser X-Men. Like, yeah, that's the other thing I think people are really... I've heard good things about with Ultimate X-Men is that they basically are focusing on lesser X-Men, and Ultimate Wolverine is where you're getting the bigger name X-Men books. So, yeah. Second question. It can't be lost on any of us, the similarities between the new Ultimate Universe and the absolute DC Universe. Both universes being formed by an evil force where the heroes have to fight even harder to remain true to themselves and so on. But which do you like more, and which one do you feel is mission statement more? Well, for right now, I haven't read the absolute DC Universe comics. I'm waiting for trade, and those haven't come out yet. So yeah, for right now, I have to say the Ultimate Universe, because I am reading that. But from what I understand, the absolute DC Universe has been absolutely killing it in terms of like what they want and how they're going about it. But I can't really honestly judge. I can't really judge anything until I can't for real judge anything until I read anything from the Absolute books, which will be coming out in trade, I think, August, so we'll see about that. Anyway, so for right now, I can't really answer that question, unfortunately. Third question. While I doubt many of us will mourn the old Ultimate Universe, but do you think its failings are more to do with the premise of more realistic take on superhero universe being fundamentally a flawed idea, or more issue with the writing, and said writing made everyone else a massive asshole? Yeah, I think it is definitely more that, you had people who, like Mark Millar and Jeff Loeb and other writers outside of Bendis who just more focused on, hey, we're going to make this more of a realistic universe if the Marvel universe existed realistically. And just like with Civil War or anything else Mark Millar or Loeb touch with anything these days, the message gets lost immediately. Like, the message immediately falls short in just a matter of, like, a story arc or two. So, yeah. It had more to do with the writing and more like they lost the plot. Like, they absolutely lost the plot throughout this entire Gong... And it just immediately, outside of Ultimate Spider-Man, became a Gong show. for everyone else. So yeah, I do 100% think the old Ultimate Universe was the fault of like writing more than the message. So thank you for those questions, Alistair. Moving on now to Bill McGlaughlin, who asks, what aspect of the original Ultimate Universe bothered you the most? Fucking everything. Like, the original aspect of the Ultimate Universe is that, you know, the big problem with it was that, it had a message. That what if we put superheroes in the... And I just talked about this right now. Like, I know it's kind of a similar question, but what bothered me is that there's nothing likable about it outside of Ultimate Spider-Man. The original... That was the problem with the original Ultimate Universe, was that everything sucks, and don't you hate it. Yeah. What more can I say, really? Second question. What was your favorite run in the original Ultimate Universe? I think I've been pretty obvious about that. Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, 100%, it's just been... it was just 100% Ultimate Spider-Man that really was the defining force of the Ultimate Universe. Like, everything, Ultimate XMen, Ultimates, even Ultimate Fantastic Four, and a few other stories here, and other comics here and there that they would come out with, none of them really mattered. It was Ultimate Spider-Man that felt like a fresh take on Peter Parker, and actually stayed along, and actually that actually makes us forget that Bendis would grow into, he would stay too long in the comics and become the Bendis we know today. So yeah, that's an easy question. Third question, do you think we'll get aspects of the new Ultimate Universe in the MCU later on down the line? I would not be shocked if that happened. I would 100% not be shocked if we got elements of that in Secret War and going forward in the MCU in the near future. That wouldn't surprise me in the least. But we'll see. It wouldn't shock me, but at the end of the day, we'll see. I think of those questions, Bill. Moving on now to Jason Voorhees 2011, who asks, how did you discover the original Ultimate Universe? Actually, it's a funny story. It's actually a pretty goddamn funny story. So basically, what had happened was, originally, the first time I was at, like Universal Studios / Islands of Adventure. And if you've been there, they have like a gift shop that's for comics, but not anymore. It's more for selling merch, and maybe they'll have comics in the background. Now, the big thing with this is that originally, if you went there during the 90s, 2000s, that store literally sold racks upon racks of graphic novels and comics. Before, it's just in the background. I mean, now it's just in the background, but before, they had racks upon racks of books. And my dad said, hey, pick out something you want, and I'll buy it for you. So I was looking around at books, and I stumbled upon Ultimate Spider-Man Venom. Now, keep in mind, I didn't know anything about the Ultimate Universe, so I just thought it was a Spider-Man Venom book. So I was like, yeah, this one right here. So I bought it, so my dad got it for me, because I was like, because I'm a dumb, stupid kid, and I like the Spider-Man cartoon. So I was just like, hey, I'll read this, and I'm reading it the first time around, I'm like, the art's good, but it's so confusing. Isn't Eddie Brock he's not a college kid, he's an adult. And why is Peter so young? Are these like lost stories or something? And then later on I would discover, this is a different universe. And this is volume 8 of that universe. So I don't know what the fuck's going on. Yeah. So that was my first foray into the Ultimate Universe. Second question. Is there a character whose ultimate incarnation you preferred over the 616 version? I gotta say, currently in the Ultimate Universe, I really like Ultimate Hank Pym from the Ultimates universe. Like, current Ultimate Universe Hank Pym. The other one was weird. But this one's pretty fun. He's very, happy-go-lucky, and also really loves his wife. And also, the reason why he didn't want to become one of the Ultimates to begin with, because he saw what the original Hank Pym was like, and was like, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be a fucking wife-beater. But he's actually pretty fun. I really enjoy him. He's kind of a goober. So, yeah. I would say Ultimate Hank Pym. Third question. Which Marvel character would you like to see appear in the new Ultimate Universe that hasn't already? That's a tough one. I would probably say, like, I'd probably say, like, That's a tough one. Probably Ultimate Man Thing would be kind of cool. I'd love to see how they would do an Ultimate Man Thing in this new universe. That'd be fun. That's my pick, Ultimate Man Thing. Or maybe like some of the supernatural characters like Ultimate Ghost Rider or Ultimate, Werewolf by Night. So some of the more of the supernatural characters. Thank you for those questions, Jason. Moving on now to David Dyster, who asks, who should write an Ultimate Fantastic Four book? Well, Ultimate Fantastic Four can't really work right now because of what the maker did to Reed. Or should I say Ultimate Doom. But I do imagine if the Ultimate Universe does continue post-Ultimate Endgame, maybe we will get an Ultimate Fantastic Four. And who would I get to write it? I'm actually going to say, like, for a writer, I am going to say 100% Al Ewing. Al Ewing is clearly the guy for a Fantastic Four comic. Like, we saw a lot of his reverence for the Fantastic Four in Immortal Hulk, and also other books he's done. He clearly has a lot of reverence for the Fantastic Four. So I would love to see Al Ewing absolutely cut loose in an Ultimate Universe with an Ultimate Fantastic Four book. That's my pick, 100% Ultimate Fantastic Four, Al Ewing. Second question: how do you see the Ultimate Universe, the new Ultimate Marvel Universe ending? Well, now we know it's ending. Like, we know it's 100% ending right now. But how would I like to see it end? With possibly the Maker being defeated and this new universe allowed to live in, like, freedom and all that. But I think also there comes a lot of sacrifice. So I imagine, like, it will probably be like I said with this, how I think Ultimate Endgame is going to go, and this is, again, my theory, is that I imagine the Ultimate Marvel Universe is probably going to go the way of, like, a better written version of Ultimatum. We're going to lose characters, but it's not going to be as, what the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that? So, yeah. But I do see the Ultimate Universe ending, but hopefully it goes on. Third question: what Marvel characters would you like to see in 6160? I kind of answered this question already, man. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, I just answered that. I literally just answered that question in with Jason's question. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to, like, skip that. So sorry, David. But yeah, so there you go, guys. That is pretty much the Ultimate Marvel Universe Q&A. I want to thank everyone for sending in questions for this Q&A. This was a lot of fun. I just literally thought of it after reading Ultimates, so I was literally like, you know what? I want to do an Ultimate Universe Q&A, and I'm actually surprised I only got so many questions this time around. I was kind of thinking with the new Ultimate Universe with being as popular as it is, I kind of figured that we would get, I was kind of hoping at least maybe to 10 questions, but oh well. So yeah, and also I'm sorry this took so long to get to. I was just in a funk, and I'm still kind of am, but trying to move through it. So trying to get to more of the Patreon stuff, and this was the first thing on the list. But yeah, if you'd like to be like I said before, if you'd like to be part of the next Q&A, just hit the link in the description box below, head on over to my Patreon, hit the first tier, that'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.